You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Are you ready to learn the 3 secrets to launching a successful podcast? Hi, I'm Bill, a recent client of the Podcast Mogul. If you've been thinking about starting a podcast but aren't sure where to begin, he's got you covered. He is hosting a free webinar where he will share the 3 secrets that can help you launch, grow, and monetize your podcast without any fancy equipment or technical headaches. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot now and let him help get your podcast off the ground.
Houses, and I just finished one. This is where I'm sitting now. It's 11,000 square feet it was a complete dump when I bought it a year ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into episode 1 of Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I am, of course, your host with the most, Phil Better, and today we have Anne-Marie Cummings on the show. An amazing story of how she gave herself a year. She was in tech sales doing multi-billion-dollar businesses with the likes of like RBC, and then she gave herself 1 year to go into real estate. And this is her story, how she did it, and then how she's now teaching others. We got a lot of great episodes coming up this season. I'm looking forward to it. If you're interested to hear some more, I have some great news at the end of the podcast. But ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into this episode. Thank you again for listening, and over to Anne-Marie.
Well, enough about me. This is not the, talk to Phil about all his wonderful things. This is actually to interview you and how you transitioned on to become a digital entrepreneur, pretty much from being in tech and then, using those skills. So it's a simple, as I said in our emails, simple conversation. It's your story. So I'm going to ask you, just give us a quick 30-second introduction about yourself, and then we'll start asking about your history.
Yeah, so my name's Anne-Marie Cummings. I'm an author of a book called Baby Boomer Bonding. And I wrote that book after retiring from a 30-year technology career, which I spent a lot of time in Montreal during that time. And it got to the point where I thought, after 30 years, I really need to be doing something different. And I left and I started reinventing myself.
Yeah, I love that, because as a millennial, you're in my parents' age bracket, right? You're in the 50 to 60, 65-year-old. And I have a whole bunch of parents, and I was like, yes, you can come on and I can help you use your interview to reinvent my dad and my mom, and because they have amazing skills because of their life. Like, you have 30 years in tech, so you were able to leverage that info to become even better, So I was it was all greedy. I just wanted you on pretty much for me. So
That's okay.
Be completely honest. So when your rep reached out to me, I was ecstatic. So I'm like, yes, I can ask you questions how I can help my dad, and that's a win-win situation because I can send him your book, buy your book, send it to him. So it's awesome. Everyone wins in this situation, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And then my listeners also, they're in my demographic, so they're like, oh, my parents can do it too. And then boom, so it's win-win-win for everyone. So that's how I look at it. So yeah, 30 years in tech. Do you mind just answering what you did in tech? Like, what's specific in tech, or were you the management part of tech, or your hands in the deep in the tech?
Yeah, so I was in technology sales. I was a senior vice president of sales for a number of different companies. And my last position that I held was with SAP, a large firm. And I managed Royal Bank of Canada globally.
Well, that's hilarious. I'll tell you why afterwards, because that's just really funny, coincidental. So, but I'll remember that. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I absolutely loved my career. I started right after I graduated from university. It was an amazing lifestyle. It was an amazing career, and I had so much fun. But after 30 years, it was all encompassing, and I really just wanted to do something different.
Mhm.
So I decided that I would given up, or look at real estate or look at different things actually. What did I want to do next? And I went to a bunch of seminars on the weekends when I wasn't working, just to kind of get a feel for what was out there, what I could do next.
Mhm.
And one of the seminars I went to was real estate investing seminar, and it got me into how to flip houses.
Okay.
So I gave myself 1 year and I said, okay, if I can exchange my technology income with real estate income within 1 year, I'll quit my job. And I did. So in the evenings and weekends, I would, buy houses, flip houses, spend time with contractors, all of that stuff. And I was able to exchange my technology income for real estate income within the 1 year. So I quit.
That's amazing. I'm flabbergasted by that because, to be honest, I went with my dad to one of those seminars on, flipping houses or real estate investing, and it's like, oh, you want me to pay more and more to get into it? So it was like, we don't have the funds, so we were a little hesitant. So hearing that actually someone who decided it's really you have to give your cutoff period pretty much.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a safe net because I was making money at my technology career. I mean, I was working probably 20 hours a day because I had to do my job. But it was a bit of a safety net. I did have my income coming in. So if it failed, then I could just abandon that and continue with technology. But of course, I wanted it to work, so I made it work.
Yeah.
And it was really an amazing experience. And I was so happy that I was able to say after the 1 year, that's it. I'm going to move on and do something different because I am a very creative person and I love designing.
Yeah.
So it got my business side into it and my design side into it. So it was just awesome.
Yeah, it's great because you've been able to bring your passion, like your passion is design, and you figured I can merge these two and I can actually make money. You figured out like the golden egg, pretty much the old saying, like the minute when you can make money from your passion, you never work a day in your life. And
well, absolutely. And that's exactly what I, tell people, find out what you're passionate about. Some people they don't know what they're passionate about because they've just spent their whole life just paying the bills and doing what is expected of them. And that's why even earlier when you were saying about this is a demographic, even the younger demographic could learn from some of the things I'm doing because as I have a son who's 26 years old,
mm-hmm.
he gets to do his own thing because his mother understands that he needs to.
Yeah.
A lot of kids are following the dreams of their parents and they don't know how to reinvent themselves because they're living their parents' dream.
Yeah.
And so I think that and I did too. I mean, my parents thought I was going to be a lawyer and they were really, really disappointed when I went into technology sales, even though the money was way better.
The hours are probably a little less, like you're not working those 80 hours. You're like, at first I'm starting 80 hours, but then I dropped down really quickly to like 5 hours a day. Like, I don't understand this.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so I just think that there's room in this for everybody, whether you're a millennial trying to live up to your parents' expectations or whether you're someone who's worked 30 years in a career that you want to move out of. I think there's something to be said about reinventing yourself at any age.
Mm-hmm. I really, really agree with that. Like, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm 35. Oh my God, I'm going to reach retirement soon. Like, I'm feeling that pressure already. And then on the flip side, I'm like, wait, the world is shifted. So it's okay. I can take more time. It's not the end of the world, pardon me. And then it's like, okay, I can actually start now reading your books, learning how to, when I have those funds, I can start doing that on the micro scale and then end up being, like you said, take a year. I could see if my passion can, because I have a great job that's paying me. So I'm like, okay, I can support here and I can spend and save over here and make see if my passion can make my
Yeah.
living,
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that. Like, I'm doing it now at 35 when I thought I would be married and have 2 kids, and in this big successful job, like living like my father, but I'm not. And it's like, okay, maybe now is the time, because I've seen so many people through my podcast who have lived their passion and are making their living through their passion and enjoying the freedom. And it's like, oh, it's the freedom I want. The money just gives me access to the freedom. Okay. How much money do I need to access that freedom? Okay. I found my number. Boom. And then, so that learning that lesson as well, I think that is the biggest thing that was hidden from people. Like, it's not how much money you make, it's how much to get your freedom. Like,
yes. Yeah. Because I made a lot of money in technology sales, but I worked 15 hours a day.
mm-hmm.
So that's not really freedom.
No, they people think it's freedom, and everybody goes, okay, no, it's going to be at 200,000, or like it has to be at 1 million. And then at a certain point you learn, or someone tells you, no, it's your time. Like, why are you putting so much work? Like, can you survive on 35,000 a year? Yes. Okay. Then figure out how to make that with your knowledge. And that's what's amazing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a couple of ways of doing this. And as much as I loved my career, it was all encompassing for 30 years.
Yeah. I'm 10 years into my career, and I'm like, I don't know how I can do, like, you hear people like, I've been 30 years in the same career. And I'm like, how I'm dying to, like, I can't see myself doing this, because after 5 hours, I'm like ready to quit, blow my brains out. Like, I understand burnout a lot more because of this. So
yeah.
And so having the chance and the opportunity to talk to people who have been successful using their passion to create wealth, and it's the wealth that's, it's not money, because money comes and go, but the wealth is sustainable. So creating wealth that you can pass on, so that, I think, is one of the benefits I've gotten from interviewing people like yourself and people in all generations who have made it. Like, there's a 16-year-old kid, a 20-year-old who ran a 6-figure print-on-demand shop. And now he's running a high-ticket affiliate marketing, and he's close to closing into 6 figures this year. So it's only January, and it's an amazing, like, opportunity. When I talked with him and seeing his growth, like, I'm following him, and using some of his techniques, I was able to land yourself and land a huge guest for season finale of season 2 that we're recording right now. So it's like, it's amazing, like, how seeing what other people are doing have brought benefit to me. But you teach people how to make like a co-living now, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, my business has 2 aspects of it. Okay. So one of the aspects is when I moved out of Toronto, I bought a heritage mansion in Coburg. The intention was
mansion. Well, not doing too bad for yourself. Brush that dirt off your shoulder. I'm sorry, ma'am.
I mean, I have to call it that because the business is called Marigold Mansion. So the point was to come out here to create a beautiful environment. So the heritage part was that they're really quite dumpy when you buy them and store them. And then I bring people into these houses, and I just finished one. This is where I'm sitting now. It's 11,000 square feet it was a complete dump when I bought it a year ago. And so I'm trying to bring people together who are 55 plus to live in a supported environment. It's not an old age home. It's just you're living as family. You have your own private quarters in terms of your bedroom and all that stuff, but you come together as a family for dinner and things like that. And there's so many people out there who are single, especially in COVID times, living alone, don't have any company, living in a 1-bedroom apartment. when they could be living in an environment like this. And you still have to you're still cooking together and living together and talking, coming together at dinner or whatever. But I just thought there was a way to do this that would be more family oriented than old age oriented, and you'd have support. So that's one aspect of my business. The second aspect of my business is that I do consulting on how to reinvent yourself. So how do you leave a career that you're done with, or you're done with, whether you're younger like I was when I left, or 65, and reinvent yourself, because everyone has a lot of life in them at 65 or 55 or whatever. Until, in my world, until I'm dead, I'm gonna be living.
Yeah, no, like, I fully agree. I see that in my parents, like when you have a grandchild. My parents have my nephew, so that, like, it's a new life for them. No. Did I have a power outage? You still there? Oh, thank God. Whew. I thought everything crashed on me. Everything's recording still? Good. Okay. Whew. Podcasting, it's an adventure every day. My heart literally stopped. Sorry to interrupt you, but I see a new life in my parents when they were playing with my nephew that I haven't seen since I've been a child. So it's like, you're completely right. Like, no one's going to stop, because we have medicine to help us live longer. So why not actually live now?
Yeah, and continue to be relevant. And I think that's one of the challenges that people have when they leave their career. They struggle to find relevance. So if you're a lawyer and you retire, your identity is a lawyer, but now you have no identity because you're not a lawyer.
Yeah.
So how do you find relevance in your retirement years, which helps you live a longer life, and long and more meaningful life?
Yeah.
So I help people find what their secondary passion is after they've retired. And for me, it was real estate development. For other people, it's something else. And some people are happy just being grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
That's their whole thing. That wouldn't have been enough for me, but
No.
So I found this.
No, I fully agree with you about how reinventing yourself after you retire is something important, because you can have a second life, because society has not ended after you're like the older generations, at 35 or 50, we're living to 80, 86, and the technology has made life really great. And I love how you bring people together to live in these kind of like you're getting a roommate, but it's a higher grade roommate, like people who are trustworthy in essence, and you won't get burned, which is an amazing thing.
Yeah, and it allows you to have stimulating conversation every day. I mean, I lived alone for a very long time, but it allows you to come together, at least in the evenings, if you want to share a meal and share a conversation, have stimulating discussions, and I think that helps you move forward too.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be with like-minded people.
Of course, you're not like, that's the kind of the problem with, putting an ad on like Craigslist or, Facebook or something like that. You're not sure really who you're going to connect with, but you're like, I have professionals who have retired and they're looking for these types of individuals. You're able to bring them together in this great environment because you're customizing the place to find the perfect tenant. So you're bringing the perfect tenants together. So they have the option. They're like, if you want to have meals together, you can, but you don't have to, and you're not forcing anything, which I love.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a really awesome experience, actually.
I don't doubt that you've helped hundreds already with this, especially now with COVID. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't even imagine being alone right now. I actually like being alone. I like being with my own company, but for a year, in another year, we're going to go through this. Yeah. This is tough.
No, I fully agree with you. I live alone, but because I live alone, I can have one or two friends over a month, and that's what I usually do. But it's still like nearly 7 days a week. Sometimes I'm all by myself, and it's like, okay, I want some human contact. I just want someone like to bounce ideas off of. And not come off like crazy old man, already at 35-year-old. Oh, there's old man Phil. Stay away from him. I'm talking to myself, because I'm all by myself. But anyways, I love how you reinvented yourself, and you're again reinventing yourself, becoming two new things. Like you started house flipping, and then you're like, no, there's a bigger business here, and then you have also coaching other people because you're like, look, I've done it kind of twice, and you're doing it again, and that is amazing. And you're on the go, like you said, you're creative and you're on the go, which hats off to you. Plus, you're an author.
Yes, I am.
Jesus,
that was exciting.
I don't doubt it. I've had the opportunity to have a gentleman who's his goal is, I think, to get 1,000 medical professionals their own book, and he's already at 50. And I'm like, he's gonna do it for sure. So that's his goal, and it's amazing because they're doing nearly number ones on Amazon. So it's anything is possible when you get that book. That book is really important.
The book is really important. I mean, the book does help you. What helped me with writing the book is it allowed me to do the research that I needed to do to understand the next phase of what I was trying to accomplish. And it also gives you some credibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you don't have a book, who are you? There's no proof, there's no evidence that you're an actually established person. But with a book, it's like, boom, here I am. And that's more credibility than saying, oh, I'm a dude on the internet. So what?
Yeah. So it was fun writing the book too. Yeah.
Is there plans for a sequel already in the works?
Oh, my life is very, very busy. So possibly, but I think where I'm going to spend more of my time is on the consulting and the Miracle Mansion. So as I just mentioned, I just finished restoring an 11,000 square foot. So this is my second house in Coburg. The first one was 5,500, and this one is 11,000 square feet.
Next one's going to be like, what, 2,400 feet?
Well, it's just bringing more people into the environment. And I'm actually exhausted.
No doubt.
So I think I need a little bit of maybe a month off to just kind of gather my thoughts. Moving is not a lot of fun, just so you know.
I know I've moved enough, and I'm like,
yeah.
Only moved one more time. That's it. Like my final house. Like after my apartment ends here, it's into a house for sure. Because I don't got time it's too much work. It's too much work.
Oh, it is so much work, and I'm exhausted. But anyway, enough about that. It's time to, fill the house with the right people and just enjoy the journey.
Oh, I love
that. I don't know what the next phase is right now because I'm too tired.
I love that. You're like, look, I've completed, I've earned my rest, my freedom now. I can live 3 months, 4 months without doing anything, doing what I want to do. And that's what I'm going to do. And we'll see. Hey, maybe I'll take on another coaching client and just do that or whatever. I love seeing how happy, it's the freedom that you have. Again, please still work.
It's still working.
All right, good. It's just my screen's turned off, so that's all it is. Okay, good. But yeah, you're using your passion to pay for your freedom, and you get to choose what you want to do. Like, I'm pretty sure after COVID's done, you may want to, if you're someone who likes to travel, you may travel, like when it's safe and sound. Like everybody wants to travel. So like I have friends in Ireland. They're like, when are you coming over? I'm like, when the world stops being on fire.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the good news is in 2019, I spent a couple of weeks in Dubai and I spent 3 weeks in Italy. So I said, okay, 2020, I'm not traveling anywhere. So it worked. I didn't travel.
So you're to blame. That's what I'm understanding.
No, I wasn't that upset that I didn't travel in 2020. Now it's 2021. I'm thinking, okay, enough already. I need to go somewhere.
Oh, yeah. I'm so many. My friends are like, because I want to go, and like in October I have this opportunity thanks to the season finale guest. I've already recorded that episode. He gave me the opportunity to come to France for a huge event that he's hosting.
Nice.
In October. And so I'm like, okay, like, what do I need to travel? Like, okay, I need the vaccine. Okay, how do I get the vaccine so I can like travel? Because this is a huge event because it's like a great connection. I meet these entrepreneurs, which I can then record interviews with them. So I'm really happy about that. And hey, who knows what's going to happen? And through those meetings, like you said, like connections are amazing that you make through this way. So, who are some of the, if you can, who are some like, what general occupation are your typical clients when you're coaching them, if you don't mind me asking?
It's
I don't
not
want names. I just like, if you have, because I want to respect people's privacy. And,
yeah. And it's not really a profession, although I spend a lot of time in high tech, so I have a lot of high tech clients, and I spend a lot of time managing banks, so I have a lot of banking clients. The demographic is 55 plus, and I think it's more of a demographic thing than it is a specific client thing.
Okay.
Although banking and technology are two of the fields that I spend a lot of time in.
All right. Okay. So yeah. So that's the majority, but you've had outside. So you've had, I guess, a couple from that industry. What are some of the other industries that you've been able to help people from?
So there was a lawyer who I worked with quite well. He always hated being a lawyer, but he was a fantastic woodworker.
Oh.
And so I helped him shape his woodworking business into something that he was able to retire from his legal profession.
Wow.
I'm working now with someone who is, he's had a 30-year career in recycled plastics.
Okay.
Like very successful gentleman, but he wants out of that business. And so we're working together to move him to his new passion. And I won't share what his new passion is, but yeah, so he's very, very successful in recycled plastics. Yeah, it's kind of all over the map because I worked with one woman who was like, she worked as a veterinary assistant, loved animals. I was able to help her create a dog walking business because she liked exercise and she loves animals. And she just needed a little bit of passive income to help her with her retirement. Worked with her, it really is all over the map. It's just people who want to reinvent themselves and they just don't know where to start.
No, I love that because like one of the great things is it's not like you're locked into one industry, like, pardon me, tech or finance. You're over here helping a veterinarian assistant. So they hear this episode, they're like, wow, I can do that. I can figure out if one veterinarian assistant did it, I can do it. And if a veterinarian assistant, a vet can do it too. Like that whole market, that vertical integration is there that you have access to if they listen to this. So that's an amazing thing that you're hitting everything. And if you help one, she's going to be like telling all her friends like, hey, she helped me. She can definitely help you. So word of mouth marketing is probably the best.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, some people get intimidated by the fact that I was, in technology sales and a senior vice president of that. And some people say, oh, you can do it, but I can't do it. And there's a simple process that I've used, and I've used it for my whole life. And it wasn't, I was a, university graduate at 30 something years ago. But I've used this process my whole life. How do you reinvent yourself? Because I started out as a secretary at the Carleton Board of Education in Ottawa. But I didn't want to be that.
That's crazy. Another crazy thing that we'll talk off air about. Oh my God.
And I didn't want to be that. So I thought, okay, how do I not be that? And I thought I set myself up to find a way to find my dream. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that it's really about being a big successful person. It's about what do you want? Where do you start? And how do I get there? And it's really, and I don't care if you want to be a dog walker or a babysitter or a big successful real estate developer. It doesn't matter to me what you want. I just want to show you how to get there because I know how to do it because I've done it as a secretary, getting to the next step, as a technology executive, getting to the next step. It's not about who you are, it's about where you want to go. and I can help you move to where you want to be. Do you want to leave your career? Do you want to, what do you want in your next life? And there's some simple steps that I teach in the workshops that as long as you believe, and as long as you can dream your dream and believe you can get there, I can help you get there.
I love that. It's pretty much the motto of the show, which is invest in yourself. Like, if you're willing to invest in yourself, there are people who are going to invest in you, and like, you're willing to invest in people to help them get there. Yeah. Because you've done it. And they're like, look, it's not like you're taking food away from me. I'm helping you create a new business that are going to help other people, which is awesome, because it's a win-win-win for everybody. You're sharing knowledge. It's great.
And there is work involved. I mean, when I decided to get into the real estate flipping and whatnot, I wanted my safety net. So I said, I'm going to give myself 1 year. Well, my technology role still required 15 hours a day from me. So I still had to work in the evenings and weekends to accomplish what I needed to accomplish to get to where I needed to be. But I only did it for 1 year. And then I was able to abandon the technology sales. So, and honestly, it was worth every minute. But people have to be prepared to do that.
And I see that. Like, I set a goal for myself, like, by my 36th birthday, which is this year, I want to be self-employed. And I figured out, okay, I know exactly the cost for me to be self-employed every month to cover all my bills to continue to grow. And so I know exactly that, and I've set out a plan for it. So once I get there, that's going to be great. I can move on and that, and I'm already seeing great benefits from just having that small goal, And if I don't hit that goal, it's fine. It's not the end of the world, but I believe I can hit it, and I will hit it, Like, if it's not this year, it's next year. Just slow and steady, Focus towards it.
Yeah. You just have to believe you can, and just focus every day on the goal, and you'll get there.
So I normally, around this time, I usually ask the guests their top 3 tips and what they're usually specialty in, but you've specialized in quite a lot of stuff with house flipping, coaching and development, career-wise and that. So I'm interested in house flipping, because that's always something. Investing in real estate is a goal of mine, and I want to hit it. So what would your top 3 tips for someone starting in the investing in real estate be for house flipping, let's say?
Yeah, so what I did, and what I found extremely useful, is I did go to one of those seminars, and I did pay the money to get the mentor and all of that stuff. It was really useful for me because they gave me the right equation to do what I needed to do. And although it's expensive, it was, you have to pay for what you get.
Yeah.
I was able to pay back that investment with 50% of the first flip.
Wow.
So I still made 50% of my first flip, which was about $50,000. And then the next 3 flips after that, which before I left Toronto, was all pure profit. And I was able to replace my technology income, which was pretty significant, with real estate income.
That's insane. So the investment after a flip, if putting in the work for it, paid off within a flip and a half. That's insane.
It really doesn't. I think, but you have to, your show is invest in yourself. You have to invest in yourself. These are experts. I was not. Yeah. They taught me how to do it, and I paid for it, and I appreciated paying for it. It was I think it was 4 days in Toronto and 5 days in Las Vegas. And then a mentor came for 2 days in Toronto, and we spent 2 full days doing, brainstorming. And with that, and the money I paid for the course, it was fantastic. And I felt really confident going out there and being able to do a flip really successfully, and it worked.
That's something I've realized. Investing in a mentor. There's been a lot of the guests who have said that. Like, I found a great mentor that worked with me to make me successful to where I am, and that's what you're doing to these people that you're coaching, or these clients that you're coaching. You're being a mentor to them, saying, "Look, I can show you how you can escape the rat race. It may not be,
Yeah.
flipping houses because that's your passion. It could be, like you said, a woodworking client, a client who loves, his passion is woodworking or dog walking. Like you're showing them, like, look, I have the formula. Here's what we need to do. And that's amazing.
Yeah, you really do have to invest in yourself because your mindset is one place and you have to shift, right? So you have to make that mental shift, and you can't always do that alone. You need someone to kind of push you in a direction that you need to be going in. And I think it's a valuable investment. And I am a coach, so I'm not saying it because I'm a coach, but the fact of the matter is I pay for a coach. It helped me. If you want to reinvent yourself, get a coach, whether it's myself or someone else. It doesn't matter. Just get one.
Yeah, it's you're paying for education. You're paying for their knowledge.
Right.
Like you have the roadmap. Like I've done it here and I've shown another person. So you refined your roadmap even better so that the next client that comes in, you're like, look, I can get you even shorter. Like we can do it faster and faster, or better and smoother, the sequence, because they're investing in your time to figure out a better way for them. Like that's what it is. So I like that. I like those type of mentors that will invest in you as you invest in yourself. So that's great. Plus, it's provable because you have clients who can give you testimonials. I see amazing testimonials on your website. So it's like, it's not someone that I don't trust. You're Canadian, first of all, and you have to trust Canadians.
You got to trust Canadians.
Even if they're from Toronto, but...
I'm originally from Ottawa, though.
Oh, that's true. You're originally from Ottawa, so that's fine. We like the nation capital. Like, how can you not go wrong there? So we love you. And you're showing that being good and helpful to other people will pay off in droves, because it's like these people invested and put in the work. We can do the same. Plus, people who are in those high-tech roles or high salary roles, those C-level executives, they have a vast amount of knowledge, but they don't know how to transfer it because this is what they train for, So you're helping them be better for them. So that's awesome as well.
Yeah, it's really fun. I love being with people and I love helping people and just creating, I think the thing is, I like helping people be relevant for their whole life. And it just, when you feel relevant, you feel good. You wake up every morning and you're going to live your life because you feel like you're relevant and you feel like you're contributing something to the world. And that's really what I like doing, helping people feel relevant.
It's amazing. I'm leaving a good stamp that can go on forever and ever. That's amazing. Because who doesn't want, like, your woodworking client, like, that's a custom piece of like art, and who wouldn't want to pass that on and become an antique? So like for the person who buys it, there's value there, but also for the artist who creates it, he has that knowledge, like, oh my God, like this is going to go on and on for families, like multiple generations. So that's a amazing feeling as well. That's how I look at it, because I'm doing podcasting, and podcasting lasts as long as I pay. It's going to be up there, but it's going to forever be up there anyways because of Google and the internet. So like, I'm leaving a legacy, like my great-great-grandson or granddaughter, or whatever the gender may be at the time, I don't know, person of lineage or individual of lineage, being as PC as possible and silly, but they can listen in and have this conversation. They're like, oh my God, Poppy or whatever I'd be called, he did that, and listen to her. So I'm going to start listening to her find more information on you, So that's keeping our legacy even longer and longer, which is great as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So normally around this time, I give my guests 5 minutes. They're able to sell, promote whatever they like. It's a thank you for being on the podcast and spending your time, because I know how much value time is. So give me 1 second. Let me set up the screen so that we're ready for you. Jump off the screen. So Anne-Marie, please let us, where we can find you, some of the great things that's coming up that you're offering, anything you would like to let my listeners know.
Okay. So mainly you can find me at AnneMarieCummingsEvents.com. You can see all my work there. And right now we're closed for seminars until the spring. But in April, we will be doing another online coaching session to help people find their new passion, reinventing themselves. And you can find me on Facebook at marigoldmansion.com or Facebook on Marigold Mansion. And that's about it, really. You can find me if you Google Anne-Marie Cummings. Happy to help everyone.
Hey, back on the screen here. And your book is in bookstores and on Amazon, I presume, as well, and on your website.
You can get the book on my website, or you can get it on Amazon digitally.
Excellent. And then if we order from your books from your website, do we get a hand signatured signing of the book? Just asking for, maybe fans.
No problem. You could do that. I can sign any number of books.
Awesome. I want to thank Anne-Marie for being an amazing guest and showing people that it's never too late to reinvent yourself, whether you're 55 and older or you're 25 and younger. You can
absolutely
reinvent yourself at any time. That this is the time and now, and she's willing to help you if you're willing to invest in yourself for that. So again, thank you so much. I do look forward to talking to you again and keeping in contact. All her links for my listeners will be in the show notes down below so that you can listen to her and enjoy and learn more from her and follow her business and maybe, become part of Marigold Mansion. You never know,
You never know.
Right? And of course, This is Feel Better. This is Invest in Yourself. So take the time to invest in yourself. Thank you and good night.
I want to really thank Anne-Marie for coming on the show. In the midst of moving, she was willing to be a guest on the show, so that's really awesome. And plus everything she was doing for people, in our parents' age, pretty much. If we're being honest here, it's our parents' age, and if they're setting it up for when they're going to retire, that's going to help us when we retire, right? So, anyways, that's everything. I really want to thank Anne-Marie again for being on the show, and I can't wait for her again to be on the show. So thank you again, Anne-Marie. As you know, I've had the chance to interview over 24 digital entrepreneurs, millionaire CEOs, and so many others over the last 3 months by podcasting. And with their lessons I learned from talking with them, I was able to launch my first client's podcast to help his brand awareness. You definitely will hear more about that later in the season, but if you want a sneak peek, make sure you're following us on Facebook by searching Invest in Yourself Pod. Well, he was so impressed at how well the podcast launch went and with the quality of work that I did that he started getting booked on other podcasts that now get thousands of downloads. Like these are amazing podcasters. And I promise you, more on that on those podcasters soon. Anyways, all this is to say, I'm writing a book to help business owners, entrepreneurs, freelancers, and influencers launch a podcast with minimal costs and barely any monthly upkeep. This will then funnel more business to you, which then will pay for for itself. The podcast will pay for itself. If you'd like to get an advanced copy of this, send me an email at book@feelbetterinc.com, and I'll make sure you'll be one of the first. Now, if you're listening to this past episode, still send me the email. I'll definitely send you the link to buy the book. Again, thank you for being amazing fans of the show and sharing it with your friends, your family, and anybody who listens when you find an episode interesting. I'm, of course, Feel Better, and please remember, invest in yourself.
Thanks for tuning in. Now it's time to take the next step. When you're ready to dive deeper into how to launch, grow, and monetize your podcast, Phil's got something special for you. Join him for a free webinar where he'll reveal the 3 secrets that have helped countless entrepreneurs succeed in podcasting. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot, and let's turn your podcasting dreams into reality.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.